Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Combos. Hi, Lindsie.
Hey, Kail.
Are you still my friend since I didn't sing the intro?
Yes, I am still your friend. But you know what? I kind of was like waiting for it. And I was like, you know what? She's probably going to surprise me. And then I was like, it didn't happen. So
Today's been a shit show. So I have no energy to sing today.
Okay. Well, can you start with your life starting last night into today and inform everybody of your journey across the United States?
Yes. So yesterday I got a red-eye flight to LA because I had a dentist appointment this morning at 9. And I parked my car in the parking garage, and then I went all the way to check in at the airport, and I realized I forgot my wallet in the car. So, mind you, at this point, I have about 1 hour to get through security and get to my gate. And so here I go back to my car, get my wallet. I come back, I'm sweating. Now I have 30 minutes to get through security and to my gate. I'm rushing. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten since 2 o'clock. My flight's at 9. And I get on the plane and it's delayed for 2 hours. Not while I'm at the gate. While I'm already on the plane, it is now delayed for 2 hours. So I'm texting Lindsie and I'm like, I'm about to jump out the window. I'm just going to say, fuck it. I don't need to get my tooth fixed that bad. And this is a sign that I don't even need to be fixing my teeth. So they said that we're about to take off, and I text Lindsie, I'm about to take off. I turn my phone off for an hour, and the little bell at the airplane was like, all right, we're just here to give you an update on our progress, and there actually is no progress. So I said, great, are you guys going to let us off the plane? And they didn't. So I love that you're laughing at this because...
No, you text me. So I'm thinking, okay, Kail's text me. She has gotten on the plane. Like, this is very good for Kail. Like, she made it, you know? And so I'm like, this is so good. And then an hour goes by and I don't hear anything. And I'm like, oh, she's in the air. Like, she's probably taking a snooze, and then she'll connect to Wi-Fi in like 2 hours. And then an hour goes by and it's like nothing. I'm like, she's probably in like Arizona by now. Who knows? And then I get a text and you're like, I haven't even taken off. And I'm like, okay, is this a freaking scam? Is this a hostage situation? Like, I had no idea what was going on. Kail's hangry. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to like ask the people for snacks? Like, they can't hold you on there that long. Like,
they didn't give us water or snacks. And honestly, the hanger was setting in real quick.
I feel like that's against the law. Like, I feel like they can't not give you water and snacks if they're holding you hostage in a airtight like compartment. That sounds terrible.
Thankfully, I was in the exit row, so I had a little extra leg room for those extra 2 hours, because otherwise I would have been going through it. But
who
apparently,
puts a person like you in the exit row?
I'm fully equipped to help the staff if necessary, okay?
Kail, I'm just telling you, if I got on the same plane as you and I saw you sitting in the exit row, I would be like, get her off. Like, she is not a person that's going to be able to help us in a true situation.
I would. I took a CPR class when I was 13.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you took CPR. That's probably where you learned to kiss. But I also want to know about why I received a text message this morning, and I'm always hesitant to open them when the first thing says Lindsie, because I'm like, oh God, like, this is probably going to be negative. What happened this morning?
Yeah.
Like, did you miscalculate your dentist appointment?
Absolutely not. So I flew out here specifically to go to the dentist, not because I need a routine checkup, because my other friend, Lindsie, texted me today and she's like, did you go to LA for the dentist? Well, yes, but no. So last time I came out here with you, I scheduled with my dentist because one of my veneers was discolored. So that's not something that like my regular dentist could fix. So I had to schedule 2 appointments. One to remove my current veneer and put a temporary on, and then come back in 2 days and get the permanent one put back on, like a new one. So I go to the dentist. I show up at 9. Actually, I showed up a little early. I was there at 8:50, and I said, I'm here to check in, gave her my name or whatever. And she's like, oh, we don't have an appointment for you. I thought you already did this appointment. And I was like, oh no, like I have it right here in my book. And I had my planner because, I'm organized now. And I said, we scheduled this. Like it was the same receptionist that scheduled it last time in person. It wasn't like it was over the phone or anything. So I don't get seen, Lindsie, for an hour and a half.
Okay, first of all, let's just backtrack because at first I used to get so pissed off at Kail when like random shit would just like happen and fluctuate the schedule. But I almost feel like some people are just destined for like bad stuff to happen. And it happens to you like every time. Person. You're that.
Yes. Yeah. But you know what? I maintained positive energy since last night. Okay. I've been positive. I've been not angry. I went to bed at 3 a.m., had to get up for this appointment super early. And I just tried to maintain good, positive energy and thoughts because I was like, if I get mad, she might not see me at all today. And then I came out here for no reason. So, long story short, it took a long time. So my appointment was at 9. I didn't leave the dentist until after 11. But I have the temporary veneer on my tooth and I go back on Wednesday. So hopefully they'll remember that I have that appointment.
Well, I'm so glad that you're well because I was honestly concerned, and I'm glad that you finally got food after like 24 hours because that's horrible.
Well, I ordered room service after my appointment, and I'm going to be honest with you, it was not good, but I ate every last bit of it because I was starving.
Okay, and then Kail also sent me a picture of nuts, and like...
They were cashews.
First of all, I hate the smell of nuts. Like, I hate it. I hate that it is an essential snack on airplanes. Like, I hate it.
Why is that? Because especially with all the peanut allergies and nut allergies.
I'm not really sure. And I thought about that, before too. Like, okay, why would they even have peanuts on here? Because it seems like kind of like a liability, but they do. And I always hope that people are sitting next to me don't get peanuts.
I think it's to save money because people can't have them.
Well, I'll tell you the last time that I was on Delta, by the time they like got to me, they were out of freaking snacks. And then they just threw me like random stuff that was probably crusty from like last year. And I'm like, okay, F you guys. And one of the things was peanuts.
I read an article. I don't remember what airline it was, but like it was like they saved hundreds of thousands of dollars by only putting 2 olives in each salad.
Who knows that? First off,
I saw it. It was an article I read. I want to say it was like either Delta or American. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, oh wow, like
American is busted. So they don't even have olives, I don't think. So it must have been Delta, but I will tell you, if I got a salad that only had 2 olives on it, I would be so pissed.
It might have been cherry tomatoes.
Okay, see, you just made up a complete lie, and that's where rumors start.
I didn't. It wasn't a lie. I was just saying.
Like, it might have been cherry tomatoes. Like, where do those two, like, go together? First of all, if
it was something round, I remember.
If I get a salad with cherry tomatoes at all, I'm going to be pissed. But if I get a salad with only 2 olives, I'm also going to be pissed. So it's fine. Can I tell you a story that happened to me at the baseball field that resulted in a squirrel or whatever you want to call it at home? Because I didn't tell you about this yet.
Okay, let's hear it.
Or whatever, like where you get in like a tussle.
A squirrel?
Yeah, a quarrel. A
quarrel.
Yeah. Well, it caused Will and I to end up getting in like an argument. And I was just trying to use a better word than argument. But let's take a little break because once again, we want to tell you about the most wonderful, comfortable, and environmentally friendly flats that you are ever going to wear. These are all day, every day, for every occasion shoes, and they're my favorite, Rothy's.
Rothy's is the everyday flat for life on the go. It's stylish, classic, and comfortable, and it comes in 4 styles: the flat, the point, the loafer, and the sneaker for women and girls. I love the sneaker. I have them in camo and black, and they're so comfortable.
I also love the sneaker, but the loafer is my second most favorite. They are made from recycled plastic, which makes me so super happy. I'm always trying to be aware of the environment, and that is a perfect example of that. They look super cute, and amazingly, you can throw them in the wash, and they come out as good as new.
We love our Rothy's, and we know you will too.
Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/coffee. Go to rothys.com, rothys.com/coffee to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are shoes that you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/coffee today. So, okay. Everybody knows that listens to the podcast knows that I am the dugout mom, and I do all of the dugout duties to help make my husband's life easier as a coach, because if the stuff's going right in the dugout, they've got the right equipment, makes his life much easier. So there's a few moms on Jackson's baseball team this season, which are very good, who help assist, help like wrangle the kids and all of that stuff, which is like amazing because I've never had that before. But it's the same 2 moms that consistently do it. And there is one child that consistently is an issue, which has caused me to have bruises for like 4.5 weeks on my ankles from hitting me with baseball bats. And I'm kind of like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, okay. We went to the dollar store and bought these laundry baskets and like laminated their names with their baseball number, put them on the front. All of their equipment goes in each of their individual baskets. So like nobody's stuff can get mixed up or whatever. All their bats go in each basket. So they just have to like grab and go. So they shouldn't have any of their stuff out in the dugout unless they're batting. They shouldn't have their bat unless they're, going into the field. They shouldn't have their hat or their glove. So I have consistently said, bats stay in the basket, because I keep getting hit with them. And I'm like, I'm tired of having damn bruises on me because these 6-year-old kids are beating my ass. So it's just like
That's
offensive.
Not funny. I'm sorry.
It
is, but.
And it's consistently 2 children that have 0 bat control. So I'm just like, okay, this is just too much. Well, so there's one specific child that has done it multiple times and also does not listen to me in the dugout, whether it's with the bat or other things. It's just like not listening at all. He kind of causes chaos everywhere he goes, takes kids outside of the dugout to follow him to go and play. It's like, okay, I understand this is 6-year-old, baseball and it's little league, but at the same time, there's a lot of kids here that are here to play and here to get better, and their parents want them to get better, and that's why they're here investing the time. So if you want to, play at the playground, there's like one over there, so maybe that would be better suited for you. So,
sure.
Not listening on the field, throwing dirt in the air, slinging dirt, trying to throw it in other kids' eyes in the outfield, and blah, blah, blah. So as the mom comes by the dugout, I said something to her. I said, hey, there's just a problem with such and such in the dugout, and, it's causing a problem to other players, and he's not listening to my husband on the field, and blah, blah, blah. Well, she's like, it's only 6-year-old baseball and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So then she waits until the game's over and then tries to confront Will on this. And Will never said anything like, I'm going to pull him off the field, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. No, if I was the coach and I was the person that was coaching, I would, because he's going to end up hurting another child by throwing dirt in their eyeballs. And then, you're going to have to deal with that kid's parent. So does all of this crazy shit, and then tells Will like basically lies about what I said, which there was multiple parents that were around that can confirm my story. So, it's like neither here nor there. And then when she didn't get the answer she wanted from Will, she went to the assistant coach. So I'm just like, okay, moral of the story, make your kids mind, because that's not really my job. You know, it's not like paid positions. Like, we're out here doing this work to be, you know, we're making some type of like $1 million paycheck by doing this. No, we signed up to play baseball. Our kid, you know, we had to pay the same registration fee for our kid. And we're out here out of the goodness of our hearts helping, you know, allow this to go on. And Will's coaching and I'm helping in the dugout. So it's like, I just don't understand like parents that know that their kids don't mind, but then when you say something to them to try to address the issue, then it's like you're lying about it. It's like, I can assure you I have better things to do than lie on a 6-year-old.
Are you sure, Lindsie? Because I thought that was like what you were that was your hobby.
Yeah, you know, like that's my hobby. That's what I do on my spare time. Not that I have any spare time, but I'm just like, I don't get it. And I just, you know, kind of wanted to talk about it because I'm like, okay, are there any other parents that have experienced, you know, the same kind of thing, or parents that just kind of like drop their kids off and just turned a blind eye? I mean, I don't know. I can't. She also mentioned in the altercation that her child was severely ADD and that his meds weren't right and that I could come up with a solution.
Okay, first of all, I'm not an in denial parent. So if my kid's doing something, whether I saw it or not, I'm going to talk to my child because that's just how I am. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say that maybe she was embarrassed that her kid was acting out.
That's what multiple people said.
So that was like, naturally she was like defending herself and her son. But also, even if she was embarrassed, I think she still should have talked to him and just been like, you know, you kind of have to get your act together. I mean, as a parent, whether the coach says it or not, if my child's not doing what they're supposed to do, I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to pull them off the field. You know what I mean? So I think I think it was a huge miscommunication and it definitely could have been handled differently, but I don't understand why she would then go on to say about ADD and whatever.
Yeah, and that her kid was improperly medicated. I'm like, okay, well, if your kid's, you know, I didn't even get into it with her. I'm just like sitting there listening. You know, at this point, it's like, okay, obviously she's not going to be receptive to anything that I have to say. So I'm just going to, you know, listen and then just like keep moving on with my life because I don't really give a shit. But she's like talking about how her kid's improperly medicated. And I'm like, okay, but you have him in an organized sport. You're saying that he's improperly medicated. If you're conscious enough to know that he's improperly medicated, why haven't you taken him to the physician to get him on the right meds or to try to figure that out? I just don't quite.
And then you're using it as an excuse.
Yeah, because I mean, I know there's plenty of kids out there that are ADD. I mean, hell, I'm ADD. But when you're throwing dirt in another kid's eyeballs, and that's
a problem. Hitting
me with bats that's causing physical pain, and I had bruises on my legs from it, then I'm just like, you know what? That's a problem. And you're literally swinging a bat around in the air in the dugout. It's going to knock somebody out, and then you're going to have to deal with that person's parent. So would you rather deal with me telling you that this is what your kid's doing and let's come up with a solution that we can, you know, work together on? Or, you know, maybe I just don't do this job at all and you just come and sit in the dugout with your own kid.
Yeah, or that.
You know, it's like, I mean, this isn't my job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're taking your own time and doing it. All right, guys, so I want to pause for 1 minute to talk about something that everybody really appreciates, and that's beautiful skin. So we're all on social media and we want to look our best, and the one thing that can help is BioClarity.
Yes, I completely agree. Nobody wants to feel self-conscious. We all want clear skin, and that's why we love BioClarity. It's a 3-step program that cleans your skin and can help clear your skin, and it's soothing and non-abrasive. I was using the essentials routine, but now I have changed over to the clear skin routine because I've had some problematic areas that I'm trying to get rid of. And actually in the past 2 weeks, I have noticed a very noticeable difference. So I'm super happy about that.
BioClarity's products are 100% vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, and artificial fragrance-free. They have a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, so it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to try this?
Get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now, for our listeners, you will save 40% off on skincare routines, plus an additional 15% off everything on their website. That's an incredible deal. But you'll need to enter our code COFFEE at checkout. So go to bioclarity.com and get 40% off skincare routines, plus an additional 15% off everything on their website when you use our code COFFEE at checkout.
What did Will say? What did y'all argue about?
Well, we argued because I felt like what she did was super calculated. You know, like if she had something to say, then she could have said it to me, and she continued to dismiss me after this whole baseball season, taking care of her kid in the dugout and her never, you know, helping one single bit or ever even offering any type of assistance whatsoever, to wait to come up in front of a group of people to try to address something instead of addressing it, you know, one-on-one. I didn't appreciate that. So I told her,
right.
I said, you had an agenda to press and that's what you're doing. Like, you're trying to cause a scene. And like, I said that.
Right.
And Will was like, well, you know, he wasn't mad at me. He was just mad, I think, at the situation. And so after he assessed the situation and then got like more information from other parties that also, you know, were a witness to it, he was like, okay, you know, I get it. Then I'll handle it from here. But it just kind of put him in a bad position because he is, you know, a coach and he doesn't want somebody to think like negatively of him. But at the same time, it's also our job, if we're taking on a responsibility to, you know, basically mentor these kids in a sense, then it's also our responsibility to make sure these other kids are safe. And if another child's putting other kids' safety, you know, at risk, then that's our job to say something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't approach her in a, you know, offensive manner, then I feel like she probably was out of line. But also, I mean, you kind of have to look at the situation, and maybe she was having a bad day. Like I said, she was probably defending. She's probably embarrassed. So,
yeah. And I told Will that I was like, you know, she probably was super caught off guard because maybe somebody's never said anything. And this is the first year that her son's played an organized sport. So I'll give her that, you know, like it's the first year that he's ever done it. But don't say that it's, you know, 6-year-olds playing baseball because the other 6-year-olds aren't doing it.
Right. That's obviously a problem.
You know, so if it's like, if they were all doing it, that would be one, you know, thing. But the fact that they aren't, then, you know, you kind of have to go with the masses and what the majority of them are doing, and the majority of them are not doing that, and the majority of them want to play, and the majority of them want to win. So so I just was like, maybe I'll share my experience and see if anybody has had any similar experiences. And I don't want to say she's a completely hands-off mom, because like, to be perfectly honest, I don't really know, you know? So just in this instance, yes, you know, she is. So I didn't know if you had any similar experiences with sports yet or not. But
I think I told you the one story about in basketball when the kid told Isaac he was the worst player on the team, and I said something to the mom.
Oh yeah. You told that story.
Yeah. She was pissed. She didn't want to hear it, but I was like, my kid knows not to say anything like that to somebody. And the fact that this kid was saying it to multiple kids on the team, not just my son, and apparently it had been like an ongoing issue and I didn't know about it. So I said something and she didn't like what I had to say, but
yeah, it's just like, you know, you have to advocate,
give a damn.
Like, for your kid.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not an in denial parent. So when I went up and I assessed the situation and I asked him what happened, I asked both of the kids. This specific kid had been saying it to multiple players, so obviously Isaac's going to say something back.
Exactly.
So at that point, is it nice? No, but if you're constantly saying shit to my kid, he's going to defend himself at some point.
Yeah. Exactly. And
So,
you know, I think it's funny that you say that because I remember you telling that story. And I do feel like they kind of start nagging on each other. And I've noticed it this baseball season. Boys are tough, you know, and they say some mean stuff. And I'm just like, hey, listen, not in this dugout, like not on this team. If you want to say that, like when you get home in your bedroom, in your private time, in your shower, whatever you want to do, that's good and great. But you're not going to talk about how somebody can't hit.
it just pissed me off too, because like this kid was no better than, you know, any other kid on the team. So it's like, what are you teaching? I don't know if it comes from the parents or if the kids just do it themselves. I don't really know, but I'm like, you're literally no better than my son. So I don't know who's telling you that you're, you know, this elite athlete at 9 years old, but you're, you know, you trip down the court while you're, you know, dribbling the ball. So I get so angry. Like, do not, like, if I can't.
And then you get so angry because then you don't want to put yourself in a position to where you're talking about a kid, you know? So you're like,
which
okay,
I just did.
I'm going to, you know, pull myself out of that because I'm trying to defend my kid and I'm not going to, you know, go into that headspace. But at the same time, you're
I'm
like,
not going to stoop to that level.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're just like sitting there like, well, here I am. Yeah. And then also what was so nice was on the other flip end of that, the same game, I got home and I was just like in tears that night because I'm like, okay, you know, something's got to give. Like, I feel like I give so much and I, you know, put so much into Jackson's raising and I, you know, try, and I don't do it for any reason other than just out of the goodness of my heart because I want to do it. You know, I'm not trying to get a medal, because I probably wouldn't even keep it if I did, but I'm just saying, like, that's not the reason I'm doing it.
You didn't want a cookie, Lindsie?
I didn't. And so there was a mom that sent me a message on Instagram and was like, hey, just wanted to let you know my son played your son's baseball team tonight. Loved seeing Jackson out there catching. You guys are so good. It's really about, you know, the fun of getting the boys out here and letting them play and compete. And like, that really is what it's about. It's about having fun and, you know, playing and competing, but also like there's rules with everything in life. And I think they need to learn them. Like the earlier, the better. There's, you know, rules for everything. Okay. So let me talk to you about something for 1 second, Kail. We're always trying to make our lives easier, right?
Yes.
We're busy moms with very busy schedules, and I know a lot of people are on the fence about meal planning because they aren't sure if it's right for them. But let me tell you, it really is a game changer for me. It's awesome.
HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can just cook, eat, and enjoy. They have 3 meal plans, classic, veggie, and family, and each box contains fresh ingredients from carefully selected farms and trusted sources. So the meals only take about 30 minutes each, which is awesome. I know I have a ton of stuff on my plate, figuratively and literally.
Absolutely. Actually, I wanted to tell you about one of these recipes that I've tried over and over again, but I don't think I've talked about it before, and it's the Presto Pesto Panko Chicken. And actually, with summer coming up, I take these meals over to the lake because it just helps me like prepare everything. I just grab the little bags and put them in a cooler and go. This is a meal that Will loves. The chicken is so good. It comes with roasted potatoes and green beans. Definitely a favorite in my house. And then Jackson also likes the beef ragu spaghetti, which is also very good. And those are both 30-minute meals. So, they're definitely kid approved. So it takes the hard part out of making home cooked meals on a daily basis. And it's just simple and enjoyable. It takes the hard part out of making home cooked meals on a daily basis. It's simple and enjoyable, and we just love it. So for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free.
Again, visit HelloFresh.com/coffeecombos80 and enter coffeecombos80. That's $80 off your first month of HelloFresh.
But then in other news, I wanted to talk about something completely off topic. I saw on the Shade Room, and everybody knows that I love to go and get a Coke or a sweet tea from McDonald's like every day of my freaking life.
What are you about to say?
But I saw on the Shade Room, McDonald's employee charged with battery after hitting coworker in the face with a cheeseburger. Like,
I did see that. First of all, where does the Shade Room find this shit? Because they always have the best freaking articles on their profile.
And it's so funny. So apparently this was in Indiana. It was a 21-year-old male employee got upset that his 18-year-old female coworker was working too slow. And then they got into an argument, and the man threw a cheeseburger at the woman, and it hit her in the face. She wasn't injured or she wasn't in pain, but she called the police and decided to press charges against him. First of all, I'm not thinking about calling the police. If somebody threw a cheeseburger at my face, I would throw a Big Mac at theirs.
I don't know why this reminded me of the time that Jeremy smacked Leah in the face with bacon on Teen Mom.
Like, I mean, we talked about that before, about like the bacon. Like,
she should have called the police.
Yeah. Like, no, nobody's cop calling. Like, this is just a thing that I'm going to also duke it out with food throwing. That's just the bottom line. And then we're probably both going to get fired.
I wonder if they did get fired, both of them.
I would say yes. I'm going to go with yes, even though I have zero clue.
The guy definitely had to have been fired.
In other news, though, can we please talk about the picture that you sent me this week of
what
Lincoln
did I send you?
Crying at the doctor's office for his kindergarten physical?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, as you know, kindergarten registration is coming up, and I had all the paperwork ready. And then I could have sworn he just had a physical, but apparently not. So I take him to get the physical, and he's never had one where he, has to strip down. And I explained to him, like, normally my kids do way better when I, like, explain to them what's about to happen versus, like, surprising them. So I told him, like, you're going to have to put this you can leave your boxers on, but you got to put this little gown on. And it's not like he's not getting any shots or anything. So I don't even know why he's crying. He's like, I don't want to do this. He's just crying. And then, like, the doctor comes in and it's all fine and nothing happens. And he was basically crying for no reason.
So please tell me what they do at a kindergarten physical.
Does Jackson not get one?
Because apparently I have not been informed of needing a kindergarten physical. He's up to date on his immunizations, and I don't know, like, if everybody does this, but I'm pretty sure that they do. Jackson goes every year, like the same month as his birthday, and gets a physical. Is that what most people do, or not really?
Yeah, but I think Lincoln didn't get one, maybe?
Maybe.
Like a yearly checkup, right?
Yeah, like a yearly checkup. Isn't that?
But
like
I think because Lincoln's birthday is in November and he has to go to kindergarten in August, I think that's why.
Huh. So what kind of, like, things did they do? Like, was
because
it vision?
He definitely had one. Yeah, they check his vision. They check, hop on one foot. Can you walk on your heels? Can you walk on your toes? They obviously check your privates. Most people do their vaccinations. I'm not really sure. I want to say that that's why because he definitely got one for when he turned 5. So I don't know.
Well, Jackson is not scared of the doctor at all. So I don't know what's going on with Lincoln and why.
Lincoln never really gets sick or has to go to the doctor. And so I think getting undressed. No, matter of fact, I don't know what it is because Lincoln has never been undressed at the doctor. That was the first time.
Which is so strange because Jackson gets undressed at the doctor every time.
Like, Lincoln goes for his yearly checkups. I know that for a fact. But this specific one, he had to be undressed, and obviously.
Do you and Javi, like, both take him, or do you only do medical?
Javi wasn't there.
No, but in previous years,
Yeah, no, it's usually just me or the both of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See,
that's so weird now that you say that.
Yeah, it's
Jackson gets undressed every year?
Yeah, he gets undressed every year and they like check his balls and stuff.
Yeah, that's what they did for this, but they don't check them. I don't remember them ever doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they just check them every year. So, hey, anybody who's listening to this, if you have boys, please comment and let us know if, they're checking their balls like every year or if they're not. Because I know my son gets his checked every year. I did want to bring up a message that we received, and I know it was a super controversial topic, but while we're on the topic of physicals, there was somebody that sent a message that said, "Hey guys, I just now listened to your episode that talks about vaccinations and wanted to thank you both for being honest and human about such a controversial topic. I chose not to vaccinate my daughter and oftentimes feel isolated and unwelcome to the vaccine conversation. You both spoke your truths and are obviously well-informed moms doing what is best for your families. Kail, thank you so much for sharing that you chose not to vaccinate Lux. It honestly made me feel not alone in the choices I've made for my daughter. And thank you, Lindsie, for being a voice of peace while still making a different choice for your son. People can be so nasty and downright cruel when it comes to this topic. You both prove the conversation does not need to be that way. Thanks for being awesome human beings." So, thanks for the message. I won't mention your name. Appreciate it. And you said that Lincoln didn't get any vaccinations. So is he not going to receive any more vaccinations, or you're just kind of like going with it and seeing where it goes?
So Lincoln is partially vaccinated, but he won't get any more. He was partially vaccinated up until he was 2. And then we chose not to do the rest. I actually had to, so there's like the regular registration forms for kindergarten, but I also had to print out an
alternate one for religious exemption.
Yeah, it's like for religious and personal exemption. I had to print that out. I had to hand that in. But on top of the exemption form, they gave me another form that has to be notarized by obviously a notary. So that's the last piece that's missing that I have to get handed in.
So did you and Javi decide on that jointly? Like, what does that look like for parents that are divorced and are co-parenting?
So it's really actually been kind of hard with Javi, and I know I've mentioned it before. Isaac, like I said, I was so young, so I didn't know anything about vaccinations, and he's obviously fully vaccinated. But with Lincoln, I knew a little bit more, and Javi and I were really on the same page about it. But I will say that Javi is very, I don't want to say the word manipulated, but I want to say that but also supportive, I guess. Like, he understood where I was coming from. We jointly just, decided that we weren't going to vaccinate. And then now that he's with Lauren, I know that he has told me that she's a big supporter of vaccines. And so when the flu shot came up, it was hard because Javi texted me and was like, "Hey, can we get Lincoln the flu vaccine?" And I was like, absolutely not. Like, he's never had one in 5 years. So why now? You know what I mean? We've never had this, we've had this conversation, and this has never been, something that we, went back on. So, I basically just told him, like, whatever you choose to do with Eli is what you guys choose. But what we choose to do with Lincoln needs to be what we choose for Lincoln. Right. I don't know. I think if we disagreed, I think in that sense, I don't know what would happen.
I think y'all would have to go to court because it's something medical.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because Chris and I are on the same page, as far as Lux goes. So I don't know what would happen if we disagreed. I don't know. Okay, you guys, I want to take a minute to talk about the frustrations of trying to get pregnant or even just understanding your body's cycle. If you tried the tracker apps before, you know that they aren't always accurate. And if you're struggling to get pregnant, you need to understand what's going on with your body. Thanks to the Ava bracelet, you can find out when you're ovulating and lots more about what's going on inside your body so you can make informed choices. You wear it at night and it's totally comfortable, and you can track your cycle, your fertility, and even your general health after you get pregnant. I'm so impressed with how accurate it is, and I know a lot of people have amazing luck with using it to find their fertile time so they can hopefully get pregnant. But even if you're not trying now, you can benefit from knowing how your body's working. So ladies, it's finally time to understand your body. Visit avawomen.com to learn more. And for our listeners, you can receive $20 off your order by going to avawomen.com/coffee using our code COFFEE. That's avawomen.com/coffee, code COFFEE for wherever you are in life.
Well, I just wanted to just speak a piece on messages that I had received when we originally talked about this topic, about how, I could support being friends with you because you're an anti-vaxxer and it's harmful and on and on. And, I feel like we have a great friendship, and the decisions that you make for your children are your decisions, and the children that I make for mine is, my decisions. And just like anybody who's listening, the decisions that you make for your kids are your decisions. And what we say is not to sway you in any different way. We're just moms living normal lives, trying to be the best mothers that we can be. So I think that you should just look at it from a place of care and, say your piece, and everybody can make their own decision.
But just to piggyback off of that, Lindsie, I think that for something so controversial, we do a good job at respecting each other's beliefs, but it's just weird for me when I see people go on and mom shame and talk about each other's decisions, or they're so angry about what someone else does, whether it's vaccinating or, something completely unrelated, breastfeeding or whatever, the stroller versus carrier versus co-sleeping, not co-sleeping, whatever the case may be. But I don't understand the anger that other moms have for, what I choose to do or what someone else chooses to do. I don't have that anger. I don't have that feeling where it's I want, and not even that I want to educate you on vaccinations. What's best for your child. What you want to do. You've done your research or learned what you want to, you know what I'm saying? So I don't understand that.
I think as long as you've done, research and you're comfortable with what you've found, then I think that, people should respect your opinions. I think where it's kind of gray area is when you've got people out there that are speaking uneducated, have done no research, and making decisions based off of no backing. I think that that's, a little bit of gray area, and that leaves room for people's, angry opinions. But I also feel the same way as you feel, that I've never felt so angry that I just want to go on somebody's page and be like, you suck because you co-sleep with your kid.
Right. Yeah. I've never felt like that.
Who are you to do that? I'm so offended by that, because I also co-slept with my kid. So, I don't get you. I don't,
No, I don't either. Yeah.
No, I will say whenever I was co-sleeping with my kid, I was also co-sleeping with my husband. So I was the middle rider of the bed, and I would not let Jackson sleep next to Will because for whatever reason, I was terrified that Will was going to roll over on him, or I wouldn't hear him roll over, or, whatever. So I was very cautious and probably didn't sleep for the first 2 years of my life. So
yep, that's usually how it goes.
I'm still tired.
Yeah, I hear that.
Remember me telling you that we had applied for Jackson for school, and it was a long process for us to find out if he was going to get in or whatnot?
Yes.
Well, we found out on Thursday that he did get accepted, so we were super happy about that. And I'll be interested because they call me, supposed to be this coming week, to discuss what the next steps are. So I'll be interested to see if the kindergarten physical and all of that stuff is the same,
Yeah, for sure.
And then that made me think, let me know what people think about if there was uniforms in public schools, because I'm kind of super excited about uniforms, because it'll just be you basically wear the same thing every day.
We have public schools in Delaware that have uniforms.
How do you feel about it though?
I personally like it. My kids don't wear uniforms, but schools are weird in Delaware. I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast. You can school choice your kid anywhere. So if you live I live in Dover. I could school choice my children to another town school. Like that's a thing where we live. So technically I could choice them to a school that has uniforms. I just right now we're in a good school and it's convenient for Javi, Joe, and myself. But I like the uniform thing. I think that I don't have to worry about school clothes. It's like, you know, you have this one set outfit that you know you're going to wear. Your kid's not going to get made fun of. Everyone's wearing the same shit and there's no distractions. There's no, you know what I mean? Like I kind of think it's nice.
Those are all the same reasons that I love it. I'm like, everybody's the same. Nobody's going to get made fun of because they're wearing a Batman shirt when they're like 8. Like it's, you know, everybody's wearing like a blue collared shirt. So
yeah,
whatever. If you're making fun of me.
Her kids, she's got 3 kids. 2 of them are in elementary school and they wear, I think it's blue collared shirts with like either khakis or, I think for girls they can wear khaki pants or a skirt maybe.
Yep. Yeah. I just love it.
But that's a public school. Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? It's going to make life so much easier. Jackson's literally going to have 5 pair of pants and he's going to have 5 shirts. Pick and choose, you know? Like you're wearing khakis literally every day. You can wear like a white shirt or a blue shirt. Those are the 2 choices and I don't really care which one you pick. I just wanted to get other moms' opinions on how they felt about, you know, mandating school uniforms in public school. If you like it, if you feel like clothing is, you know, an expression. Is that what a lot of people say? Like it's a way to like express
but I feel
yourself.
like that's fine and that's great, but it doesn't necessarily have to be at school. Like you can find ways to express yourself and your outfits, you know, when you get out of school or on the weekends in the summer, you know, stuff like that.
Exactly. So let us know what you guys think.
So here's something that I'm always enjoying. You guys know that I've been working out. I'm getting stronger. I'm putting in real time in the gym and into my diet. So I'm still traveling a lot for work and I'm going to the gym. And sometimes I just don't have time to go to the gym. And that's where OpenFit comes into play.
We've mentioned OpenFit before, but if you are not familiar, it's basically the Netflix of workout videos and they pretty much have something for everyone. It's great. I love how you can just watch the videos from your computer or even from your phone. They're wonderful.
So OpenFit classes are led by some of the most effective and engaging trainers in the world who know how to get the results that you want.
Absolutely. OpenFit gets that every body is different. So they have custom tailored original content. I've even done quick 10-minute workouts before recording podcasts, which is pretty impressive. So actually, I wanted to tell you about something that I wanted to try, and I've tried before, but wasn't really into it, but want to try it on OpenFit, and that is yoga. I feel like I'm such a high-stress person, and I feel like I could do yoga at home, just like not around people. So that's something that I definitely want to try, and I believe it's called Yoga 52. So if anybody wants to give me any advice or try it with me, let me know.
That sounds awesome.
OpenFit has changed the way that we work out, and with our code COFFEE, you can join us on a fitness journey personalized just for you. Again, use our code COFFEE and start using OpenFit for your journey to a healthier life. Right now, during the OpenFit 30-day challenge, our listeners will get a special extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit where you can lose up to 15 pounds in 30 days. When you text COFFEE to 303030, you will get full access to OpenFit, all the workouts and nutrition information totally free. Again, just text COFFEE to 303030. Standard message and data rates may apply. We did have a question on Instagram. This lady says, I love y'all's show and I love Teen Mom too. I have a question for both of you. What do you think about homeschooling? I'm a mom of 4 and I homeschool them and I love it. So go.
Okay. I am for homeschooling under the right circumstances. So there are people who homeschool and aren't really educating, you know, greatly. But also I have this really awesome friend named Rachel, and she, you know, told me way more about homeschooling than I ever really knew. So there's like homeschool groups. So like maybe one day that, you know, 5 or 6 kids go to someone's house and they learn about cooking and measuring and the math portion. And then the next day they might go do like a science project at like someone else's house. And so they take turns doing these projects and learning these things. And I think that there's a lot to be said about learning that way because it's more practical and you can go on like field trips still and you can do all that stuff. So I think there's definitely pros and cons to it. I think there's a huge misunderstanding when it comes to homeschooling because there are people who give it a bad name.
I definitely agree. And I feel like for all the same reasons as you, the practical parts of homeschooling, I feel like I know a lot of kids who were homeschooled when I was growing up. And I feel like as far as preparedness for life, they were probably more prepared for me because they were learning to do things that I didn't learn in school, you know, like you said, cooking
right.
or, you know, like those types of things. But as far as socialization, I feel like if you do it right, then, you know, the socialization is there. I'm definitely advocate for the hybrid homeschools to where you go to school like 2 days a week, full day, and then you're at home 3 days and do stuff like outside, like you said, field trips and work with other kids like outside of your hybrid program. I'm definitely like for that. I actually looked into that for Jackson, but I realized my patience isn't enough to do it. And I just feel like for our kid and his needs, he needs to be in school full day. So that was...
I think that the socialization thing, a lot of people assume that homeschooling is like you stay home with your parent all day and learn from a textbook. And I think that that's just like not the way it actually is.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like so many people from the area that I live in homeschool, and I feel like all of those homeschool people, like the group of homeschool people, they all like know each other and they're all associated with each other and like in church together and like doing all those types of things. So I definitely think as long as you're socializing them and not, you know, just at home with a textbook,
like
you and
them,
then I think it's like perfectly fine. And I don't think it's a bad idea because I mean, I looked into it for myself. So
I don't think I'm smart enough to homeschool my kids, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'm not patient.
Like, I don't even know how to cook. So don't ask me about measurements. Don't ask me about like, I would have to be one of the ones that does like the homeschool groups where they like take turns. And I would have to be like, we're going on a nature walk today. Like today we're going to go look at the wilderness and stuff like that. And then my kids would have to go to someone else's house for math and science for sure.
Because I'm not really into science experiments or I don't really know much about science. So,
right.
Yeah, agreed. Can we switch gears a little bit and touch up on some recent Teen Mom stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we sure can.
Yes, we certainly can.
Oh yeah, we got a new season. We're filming currently a second part to season 9. So essentially we're on season 12 or further along. Who really knows? Because so when they break apart a season between A and B, it's really a full season, but they just call it part A and part B. So as far as I know, I think they're going to follow myself and the chaos to Mexico.
Well, that is so exciting. I'm so excited that you guys are going to go experience the same place that we went for spring break. And that's also where I got married. So I hope that
that's right.
You enjoy it. The kids are going to love it. It's going to be so much fun. And I think you'll enjoy it too. It's just a lot of fun. And it's so different there. Like, I just wish that like I lived with people that are like in Mexico. Cause I feel like they're so nice there. Everything is so like scaled back. You feel like it's nice and it's luxurious cause you're at a resort, but I feel like their like way of life is so scaled back. And
that's how I feel about Hawaii, like island time.
Yeah.
Like,
I could really get into
just
it.
So chill.
Like I honestly could. So can we talk about, Bristol leaving the show. I honestly was not shocked.
Oh, I did see that, and I'm not shocked. And I think that the way that she did it was great. I think, someone did comment, all the girls threatened to leave the show, blah, 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 blah. And I think for a lot of us, we started off a lot different than Bristol. And so, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but I think she I don't know how to say what I'm thinking. Like, she started off differently than us, and she doesn't need the show as much as the rest of us do. Does that make sense?
Yes. Like, you mean as far as like financially, she kind of has her career in real estate and like has been set up in a different way because she has like this stable family environment that has allowed her to be in a better position financially than what some other moms have been afforded.
Yeah. Yes. And myself included. I do feel like you said it better than I could have. I think, and she was straight to the point. Like, it didn't bring her any type of peace, and she didn't like the way that she was portrayed, and I wish that I was able to do that, but I think season after season after season after season, I don't like the way that I'm portrayed, and I stick around, but I need it more than she does. So good for her, and I hope that she does find her peace. And I'm not shocked. You said you weren't either, right?
No, I wasn't shocked. Honestly, I'm not a part of the show or MTV, so I feel like I can say things a little bit differently, but I feel like when Farrah left, that was a good way for them to politically, bring politics into the show. And I think that that's the reason why they brought her on in the first place. And I think that they knew that they would pull a demographic like they were pulling with Chelsea, on Teen Mom 2. And I think that that's just what it was. And I think that Bristol just didn't need the show, is like you said, as much as others might need the show. And I don't want to say others that are, on there now still need the show, because I definitely don't think that y'all need it as much as what you think that you do. But, some people are just like in different life places. And I think that, career wise, she seems super invested in real estate. And, if that's enough for her and she doesn't want to be portrayed in a way that like she's not, then, good for her.
Right. And I mean, I don't think like Chelsea and Cole don't need the show. They don't need it, but they're also not portrayed in a way that they don't like. And well, I'm speaking on my own opinion. And they don't have maybe the drama that I have or Janelle has, or you know what I'm saying? So like, of course they're going to continue it because they don't have trashy drama. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like
they have like the literal like dream love story. And, she is literally, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like that's Chelsea. I mean,
and Macy too, I would say.
Yeah. And I think that it was harder for Bristol because she went into Teen Mom like going through a divorce.
Right. I do think that if Bristol had already went through her divorce and was on Teen Mom OG, maybe she would have done a second season.
Yeah, because I just think that there wouldn't have been as much to follow. You know what I mean? Like they were following all the like raw parts of going through like such a hard time. And as if it's not bad enough, already, let's capture it for the whole world to see, I mean,
right.
That just, you can attest that sucks. So, yeah, I wish her nothing but the best. And I know that, she will do very well in real estate because she seems to be like a very smart businesswoman. So, anyhow, switching gears, did you see that tragic story about a man that threw the boy from Mall of America balcony?
No, what happened?
You did not see this? Oh my God. It was
No.
Okay. It was all over the news.
I don't know if I want to know. How old is the boy?
5 years old.
No.
Yes. So there was a man that threw a 5-year-old boy off of a 3rd floor balcony at Mall of America. He had told police, like, this is like after the fact, that he was angry at being rejected by women at the mall and that he was looking for someone to kill. And so he went there like last week and I guess attempted to find somebody to kill at that time, but like he couldn't find anybody. And so he was charged with attempted premeditated first-degree murder. And the child literally fell, it was like 40 feet or something, and is fighting for his life. So after
he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive, but he's fighting for his life. So I don't know, like his family is asking for privacy at this time. So they're not releasing, his medical information to the media. So I don't know what his state currently is. But after they, I guess, charged this guy, reports came out that he had 2 previous convictions for assaults in 2015. And one of them was he had thrown a glass of water and a glass of tea at a woman who refused to buy him something. And at one point he was actually banned from the mall. So he was ordered during that time in 2015 to undergo psychological evaluation or treatment. So I don't know if he did that. I'm assuming that he did since he wasn't arrested, since he was court ordered to do that. But when the boy's mother spoke to police, she said that the man came up very close to her, like in the group that she was standing outside of the Rainforest Cafe, and that she had asked the man if they were in his way and should she moved. And then she said that he picked up the child without any type of warning and then just threw him off of the balcony.
Oh my God.
And then the man ran after doing this, and the police caught him on a light rail train at the mall, like waiting to leave. So he admitted to throwing the child from the balcony, and admitted that he had came to the mall a day earlier seeking to kill somebody, but it didn't really work out. And he also admitted that he had planned to kill an adult before choosing the child. So I'm not sure. I know that there was like a GoFundMe page that was made for this family. The last time I looked was like 2 days ago, and I think it was at like 500 or 600,000 that had been raised to like help the family. But I'd say this because there's so many things that can happen that like no matter how safe you think you're trying to be, they can happen. Like this was just like a freak thing. This woman was at the mall with her kid eating at a restaurant or like waiting to eat at a restaurant, and some random man just comes up and like slings her kid off of a balcony. I know this is like a bit of an extreme story, but you just like never know what can happen.
That's horrible. That is so horrible. Like I'm thinking of Lincoln because Lincoln's 5. Like that's.
Yeah. Like
I take my kids we were just in a store the other day, and it's like, trying to keep your kids contained while, wait for at a restaurant or in a mall or whatever. And it's like anybody can come up at any given time.
Yeah. And it made me also think, like, after hearing that story, and I have another story for next week, but we don't really have time for it today, that I would like to share with everyone, just because I feel like we get so caught up in our everyday life and like things that we do that we forget to teach our kids like simple safety things. And I feel like because I'm always with Jackson, and I am guilty of this, like I'm always with him, so I don't teach certain things because I'm like, I'm going to be there. But they do need to know this stuff, because if something happened and, you know, you were there, but like unable to help for whatever reason, they need to know, you know, these things. And it made me jog my mind and think, okay, you know, would Jackson know like where the nearest police station is to our house? Like if we were driving, cause I mean, he knows they watch like where you go when you drive more so than you think. And Jackson can tell me like when we turn out of our neighborhood, like he can tell you how to go to the ballpark, or he can tell you how to go to a school, or, you know, like anything like that. So it's like, they should know, you know, like where the nearest police station is, or, you know, what you dial, in case of an emergency, or like your phone number. You think like back when we were kids, like we had landlines and I knew my number for home. But you think like with cell numbers, I had to memorize Will's number like 2 years ago because I realized that I didn't know his number. My phone had died and I realized I didn't know his number because I'm so used to just having it programmed into my phone that it's like not that important. But it is.
You know what's
super
crazy?
Important.
The Lincoln's preschool teacher, Isaac, knows my number and his dad's number. He's just real quick with stuff like that. So we've literally told him what it was and he has it memorized. But Lincoln's teacher actually did an assignment every morning until everyone in the class memorized at least one parent's phone number. So like in their classroom, they go in and they have to pick their popsicle stick with their name on it. And then they had to find their phone number, their parents' phone number in the popsicle sticks. And then they had to recite it to us. So now Lincoln knows it. But here's the thing, and it's so funny that you mentioned that is, you know, Joe and I pick up Isaac from the bus stop or whatever, but it's right on my corner, so Isaac could come home. But if there was ever a situation where I couldn't get home before he did, and he got home, I have no way to know, like, I don't have a house phone, he doesn't have a cell phone, and his gizmo gadget doesn't stay charged for a full day. So it's like, do I get a house phone so that he can call or I can call? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it just makes you think of like all of those little things and it takes like a tragic story, like hearing something like that. And it's sad that it takes something like tragic that happened to somebody else's kid for you to think about, oh, wow, how can I, you know, use this as an example to like teach my kid the things that he needs to know. But, you know, for the summertime, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to, you know, show him how close the police station is, you know, where you would go or how to dial 911, and take him to the police station and let them show him like what police officers do. I don't know. We just recently went to the fire department this past week, into the fire department, and he learned about everything that he would need to know as far as like the fire department, like what they do, how they help people, what type of calls they come out on, the types of codes, not that a kid would need to know that, but, you know, teaching them like types of codes, like what different types of fire trucks go out for certain stuff, teaching them, you know, showed him like how if there was like a house fire, they showed him like the infrared camera on how they see to cut through like the smoke, showed him basically like everything. And then for moms who are listening that want to take their kids to do this, I did find out that your local fire department, I don't know about the volunteer stations, but I know the paid ones, and I'm sure the volunteer ones do too. But as long as the bays are open, you can take your kids and they'll give them a tour and kind of show them everything. But I think kids
we did that last year.
I love it. Like, I think kids see like the sirens and stuff and get scared, and you don't want them to be scared.
My friend who was Isaac's old baseball coach, their husband and wife, Nikki and Ricky, Ricky is I think he's volunteer. I'm pretty sure he's volunteer. And he, I just texted him and he offered to give the boys a tour, and he gave the boys a tour of the whole thing.
Yeah, I love it. And
it was so cool.
Jackson, you know, like we've seen like Rex and like the fire department, you know, where you have to pull over on the side of the road, and take those moments as like teaching like lessons for your kids. You know, if you're pulling over on the side of the road, I know like you get busy with life and stuff, and I know that I do too, but it's like if they're asking questions like, Mom, why are we pulling over on the side of the road? Like, explain to them why you're pulling over on the side of the road and, you know, why they ride with sirens on. Because Jackson for a long time would be like scared when he would hear that, when it's just like an alert, you know, it's just an alert that there's something going on and like you need to move out of the road so that they can get through. So that's what we're going to be doing over the summer. So if anybody has any ideas for like public safety or anything like that, then please send us a direct message. I would love to hear your ideas, and I'm sure Kail would too.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's all that we have time for today. If you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app, typing in Coffee Combos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and you can also leave us a written review. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.